Hello PintSizeAnalyze viewers. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the Seattle Mariners' first two selections of the 2024 draft. Switch-handed pitcher, yes, you heard that correctly, Jurrangelo Cijntje from Mississippi State, and right-handed pitcher Ryan Sloan from York H.S in Elmhurst, Illinois. Both were widely regarded as top 10 pitching talents in the draft class and have entered the organization's top 15 prospect list as just the second and third pitcher behind Logan Evans, wherever you would like to slot him in. I personally would probably have him between the 6th and 10th best prospect in the organization, though, helping organizationally restock the pitching pipeline. This ended up being a very exciting outcome, as in a weaker draft, the Mariners and Director of Amateur Scouting, Scott Hunter, ultimately utilized a strategy of quality over quantity in securing two overall top 30 talents in the class. First round, Jurrangelo Cijntje, both-handed pitcher, Mississippi State. At long last, the moment came. With Trey Savage on the board and the Mariners selecting at pick 15, they ended up selecting Jurrangelo Cijntje. I believe it was a choice purely between these two pitchers, and that it was probably the upside of Cijntje that led to his selection. Cijntje is a 5'11", 200-pound switch pitcher, born in the Netherlands and raised in Curacao. Cijntje moved to the United States and started playing high school baseball in Florida, before participating at the 2022 MLB Draft Combine and going viral as a switch pitcher. He was then drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 20th round, not signing and honoring his college commitment to Mississippi State. I also want to note, he was drafted by the Brewers as a switch-hitting shortstop, but wanted to continue pitching at Mississippi State. In his 2023 freshman season, he pitched 50 overall innings, striking out 26.4% of batters, but scarily walking 14.2% of hitters faced. Cijntje also struggled significantly in general run prevention, pitching to an 8.10, 8.10 ERA. Cijntje came into the 2024 college baseball season as a top 150 player on most draft boards as a draft-eligible sophomore, expected to be taken sometime in the 4th to 6th round range. Obviously a very interesting prospect, it was still uncertain how much Cijntje would progress as a pitcher this season and what he would mainly focus on. Cijntje didn't actually pitch left-handed a whole lot in 2024, only utilizing it in matchups against certain left-handed hitters, in which the Mississippi State scouting report, which they put together for him, suggested that he should pitch left-handed, and stopped entirely pitching left-handed on May 4th. He hasn't pitched left-handed in a game since then. Overall, though, in 2024, Cijntje made huge strides, once again posting awesome strikeout numbers, although even more improved at 29.9%, almost 30%, and nearly halving his walk rate to 7.9%. So he went from a walk rate of 14.2% as a freshman to 7.9% as a sophomore, which is really, really exciting. And then he also significantly improved his ERA, posting a 3.67 ERA and exciting 3.58 FIP and 3.29 xFIP. Cijntje from the right side primarily uses a four-seam fastball averaging 95 miles an hour and touching 99 this season, while averaging 18 inches of IVB from a 5.6-foot release height. He features a more his primary breaking ball from the right side is a more sweeping, well, it's actually more of a firmer slider, gyro slider, averaging 84.5 miles an hour with 4.5 inches of horizontal break, but also getting 1.4 inches of IVB, increasing the whiff potential on the pitch. That means that hitters are more likely to swing over it. Cijntje's third offering swing under it. Cijntje's third offering as a right-handed pitcher is a changeup, averaging 87 miles an hour and getting 15 inches of horizontal break. The pitch has a distinct late sinking action. His final offering from the right side is a cutter averaging 91. It did say it topped out at 96.5, but I believe that might have been a pitch classification issue. It probably topped out at something more like 94, and it has a relatively average movement profile. From the left side in 2024, Cijntje threw a four-seam fastball 45 times, averaging 91 miles an hour and topping out at 93.5. The pitch has a relative dead zone movement profile, and he threw a sinker averaging 91.2 miles per hour, topping out at 94.3 miles an hour. It could be a pitch classification error, but the general movement profile of his four-seam fastball makes me believe that he's more suited to throw a sinker as his primary fastball. He also, from the right side, his delivery is more uniform or more standard, whereas from the left side he has a more lower slot kind of arm, comes in from a wider angle. So I believe kind of that running action of a sinker, along with that more horizontal arm slot, I believe that kind of should bode well for the sinker and probably make it a better offering from the left side. His primary offering, which he actually, I don't know if it's a primary offering, but he threw it the most, is a sweeper from the left side, and it averages 81 miles an hour and 6.1 inches of horizontal break. The sweeper from the left side is really distinct. He's kind of just like the left-handed reliever in a bullpen. That's kind of what he looks like from the left side. So it could still be really, really useful in like certain situations against one hitter who might really, really struggle against a left-handed hitter, or he might even utilize it in certain situations where he only pitches, we'll say, for the first 6 innings, right-handed and faces a certain hitter twice right-handed. But in the third inning or the third time through the order, in like a particularly high leverage moment, he might switch to the left-handed. Just to make it particularly hard and like kind of change up the look against that hitter. Cijntje is such an exciting fit in the Mariners system for me. Mariners general manager Justin Hollander said Cijntje from the right side had the best graded delivery and was the best mover down the mound of any pitcher in the draft class. He's also a natural left-hander, but throws harder with his right hand. Cijntje is a ridiculous athlete who's also still relatively new to pitching. When you start to account for all the factors, including Cijntje being more athletic, newer to pitching, and with more dynamic, flashing secondaries, the upside to the Mariners was something they ultimately couldn't pass up. In the second round, at pick number 15, Ryan Sloan, right-handed pitcher, York High School from Elmhurst, Illinois. Listed at 6'5", 220 pounds already, and with some Garrett Cole physicality, not Garrett Cole as a pitcher, but like Garrett Cole frame comps, Sloan was arguably the best prep arm in the class, but more commonly ranked as about the third best prep arm in the class, still in the same tier of talent as Cam Caminiti and William Schmidt. Caminiti, despite being rumored as high as pick 11 in the Giants, ended up falling to pick 24 and was scooped up by the Atlanta Braves. Schmidt decided to withdraw his name from the class about 3 hours before the draft began. Justin Hollander also said that Ryan Sloan was under consideration for being selected at pick 15, so when he fell to 55, it was almost a no-brainer for them. Sloan had long been on the radar of scouts for the 2024 class dating back to last summer, where he generally showed good feel for 3 offerings, including a low 90s fastball, slider, and changeup. As the 2024 draft cycle progressed, Sloan saw an increase in fastball velocity this spring, now touching 100 and sitting in the upper 90s in his final high school outings. Sloan also showed an improved feel for his sweeping slider this spring, sitting in the low 80s, 80 to 85 miles an hour. Sloan doesn't get a lot of, well, actually, it averages about 2,600 RPMs, but he doesn't really like, it doesn't really light up the RPM numbers, but he has a good feel for the pitch, so he doesn't really have a feel for spin, but he has a feel for kind of locating the pitch. And then he also did showcase this kind of exciting ability to manipulate the slider shape into like a harder thrown cutter with increased velocity, but less horizontal break. So that kind of feel at 6'5", 220 is really, really exciting if he is able to kind of like Skeens is like a really recent example of like a pitcher who can at like a much larger frame, 6'6", I think 240 or whatever Skeens is, he's able to like manipulate his slider from pitch to pitch and can have it, with less horizontal break like a cutter, and then have it with loopier, more sweepy at a lower miles per hour. Sloan's final offering is his changeup, which some scouts have graded as an above average 55 compared to his sweeper breaking ball, which has more commonly earned 60 grades along with his four-seam fastball shape. And the changeup is about 87 miles an hour. It has some. It kind of looks like a regular changeup, but I think that the feel for pitching in general here should, I believe, bode well for the pitch to kind of at least continue improving or definitely be useful. And it already has gotten 55 grades. Sloan mechanically pitches from a 3/4 arm slot and has a generally well-regarded delivery amongst scouts. I have seen from some places online that he gets a surprisingly minuscule distance of extension down the mound, only about 5.7 feet from what I've seen, which is definitely odd considering his 6'5" frame, but I'm sure that will be something Mariners player development is able to correct, but hopefully probably not make major changes to delivery. Sloan also sometimes in his delivery, when he reaches behind his back, his right arm will be a C shape, so kind of like this, or like this, whereas when throwing his fastball, his arm's at more of a 45-degree angle. That would be an obvious tell to hitters, but I'm sure Mariners player development should be able to quickly correct that inconsistency in his mechanics. And that's it for this video. thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, it ended up being a really, really exciting outcome in a generally weaker draft. The Mariners just decided they were going to try and get 2 of the 10 best pitchers available, and they ended up doing that. There were some other pitchers who were on the board at that time, but Ryan Sloan was clearly the best player still available. You know, if you were from BA to MLB Pipeline, all of those outlets still had Sloan as the best player available when pick 55 came around, and I definitely didn't think the Mariners were going to get him. I thought he was going to go to like Cleveland on day 2 or something like that, but yeah, they ended up getting him. It was really exciting. He's also already agreed to a $3 million bonus, so that's good. He's elected to forego his commitment to Wake Forest, and yeah, has already agreed to a deal with the club. So, and then Cijntje has as well. So that's exciting. Both of these guys are going to be Mariners, and I believe they're going to be introduced at T-Mobile Park next Tuesday. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm PintSizeAnalyze. This video was discussing the Mariners' top 2 picks of the recent draft. I'm so excited. Like I said, these guys are going to be great with the Mariners pitching development. It's an organizational strength along with scouting. And yeah, this was just such an exciting draft. I'm also going to have more content coming out about rounds 3 through 20 coming soon. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Peace.